lovelies. You've been crying out for it, and now it's back. Welcome to Beauty and the Beast. It's a modern-day take of your favourite show, and we've amassed some fabulous beauties and unleashed some beasts who'll be answering all your questions in a very fun, zany, and irreverent way, as you know. And welcome to one of our very first beasts, Rob McKnight.
Thank you, Prue. Such a joy to be. Notice you didn't call the Beast fabulous, but anyway. Now, while this show is very reminiscent of Beauty and the Beast, no one here could possibly replace the great Stan Zemanek, of course. So along the way, you'll see some familiar faces and you'll meet some new ones, including the very naughty Prue MacSween. Is it good to be back, Prue?
It sure is, Rob. I'm going to be naughtier than ever, I promise.
Also joining us for this edition of Beauty and the Beast, an original beauty and someone who's never afraid to say what they think. It's none other than Carlotta. Hello, darling.
Oh, hello, Rob. Isn't this wonderful? We can do a show with political correctness blown out the window. I'm excited.
Yeah, but where are the feathers, Carlotta?
I'm too old for bloody feathers now, darling. Anyway, that's it.
I think I can hear the fashion police coming along because you're not in your feathers.
Oh, I know. Who wants to be plucked anymore?
I don't believe that for a second.
I'll leave it there.
Also joining us is a former anchor for CNN and a real housewife of Melbourne, but if Anjali Rao thought those women could be bitchy, she ain't seen nothing yet. Hello, Ange.
Hello, Rob, my petal. Look, this to me is exactly like Real Housewives, except finally I'm dealing with people who've got an IQ in the double digits, so it's a real pleasure.
Oh, I don't know if I fall into that category.
Only jump.
Get out the smelling salts, everyone, because you're going to need a Bex and a good lie down after Mr. Craig Bennett has shared his insights. Hello, Craigie.
Hello, Rob, and just to let you know, I've got my smelling salts right here, so I've come prepared. Gird the loins like nothing else. I got to say, I'd go all the way back to the original Beauty and the Beast, and so I'm thinking, with this particular version, Beauty and the Beast, A, I'm wondering, am I a booty or am I a beast? And B, I'm thinking, if Ina Harwood, Dita Cobb, and look, maybe Hazel Phillips thrown in for good measure could have a love child, I would definitely be it. And the other thing that I've got to say really flops my mott, Rob, that is really peppering my snap-up, is the fact that I get to finally get inside a box. It's been one of my life's ambitions, and now look at us. We're all there in a box. It's like the Brady Bunch, isn't it?
It is. I can see Ange, I can see Prue, I can see all of you. Thank you, Craigie. Finally, she's fought the toughest opponents in federal parliament as a senator, but can she handle your questions and the hard-nosed panel? Hollie Hughes, welcome to Beauty and the Beasts.
Oh, thank you so much, Rob. It's just amazing to be here. They say that politics is show business for ugly people, so it's nice now to maybe just be in show business.
Well, we might talk to you at some point about the sex appeal of politicians, because in Canberra they're like rock stars, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely, doll, and evidence right here.
Fabulous. All right, Carlotta, I believe you've got the first letter of tonight.
Rob, I have a lovely letter here from Maud from Tarramurra. Dears, I need help. I'm a 72-year-old woman who made the mistake of arriving home early from bingo, only to find my husband, who lost a leg in the last war, watching a blue movie. I was horrified. He was trying to arouse himself. Trust me to get a letter like this. Am I a prude, or should I just let him have some pleasure? He was mortified when I walked in. We're back.
We are. The thing that I wonder about this is he was trying to get himself aroused. So was he trying to get put the mask up for his wife, or was he going for some self-pleasure there?
Oh, definitely the self. He was giving himself a bit of a stiffy in his leg as well as in other parts, Rob. But the thing is, what she needs to do, this is from Maud from Turramurra. Maud, what I suggest is you get some of those porn movies and practice like crazy and come out one night in your sexiest lingerie and give him a really big bang for his buck in person. He'll love it.
Anjali, should Maud be trying to make this part of their role play? Maybe you could be a spectator sport for
I mean, the thing that really struck me about this, Lord, is that, if you take away the M and the A in your name and you replace it with a P and an R, it actually spells Frood. That's your name. I think it's honestly ironic that you come home from bingo to find your husband potentially ogling two fat ladies. Brilliant. Oh my God. Just jump on it. It should have been on like Donkey Kong. And the next time you catch him, I mean, I don't know. Has Hawk to a girl taught us nothing?
It's a very good point. It's a very good point. Hollie, what do you make of it?
Oh, darling, Maud, if you can't handle it, honey, just make sure you get an extra loud honk when you're coming in the driveway and give him a little bit of a heads up that you're on the way home. Bit of on the world, Josh. Maybe a quick text. I'm on my way. But no, I think Maud may have got an almighty shot. I'm glad she's still with it. She could ride us to the left. Your poor husband, he lost a leg in the war. Give him a bit of joy, doll.
Craigie, is Maud not putting out? Is that the issue here?
Well, look, dear Maud from Turramurra, I have to say this. I remember Liza Minnelli explaining that the reason why she never arrived home early from the studio, it was because she did one day and she found Peter Allen in bed with another man. Now, I think given the choice in between being in bed with another man, there's your one-legged husband who fought in a war, or maybe watching a blue movie, maybe you might angle for the blue movie. Look, I mean, for heaven's sake, he does only have one leg. I mean, maybe he's practicing to, be able to stand upright without a crutch. Who knows? A bit of a go. I'm assuming that your darling puppy is maybe mature. So for heaven's sake, give him a bit of a jolly. I've got to say something too, Maud. You might not know this, but I mean, sex is very good for one's prostate health. And, if you're worried about it, I suggest maybe having a gentle conversation with your hubby. Having said that, you said in your letter that he was kind of mortified. Don't mortify him even more, because you never know. It might do his ticker in, and then you wouldn't have a hubby. And God knows what you're going to do with all those flu movies.
Well, I think we've solved that.
I do.
You are watching Beauty and the Beast. Well, this letter might be something you can relate to, or maybe not. What have you got for us, Craigie?
Indeedy, wordy, lordy, I do, Rob. Oh, this one's a doozy. It comes from Wet Wendy of Newstead in Queensland. She writes, Dear Booty and the Beasts, I admit I have a moisture problem. Don't you love a little blast of candour? I sweat so much it runs down my legs and everywhere else when I get turned on. I've tried deodorant of every kind. Look, I've even injected Botox because somebody told me it stops perspiration. Nothing has worked. I feel like I need to wear a wetsuit to bed and or on the dance floor. What in the dickens can I do? Well, Wet Wendy, I'm just wondering if you tried damp breed. Or maybe wearing those closet camels as a pair of earrings or something. No, look, in all seriousness, that much moisture could be a real problem, my darling. I mean, you might wind up flooding out poor Newstead in Queensland. I would seriously go see a doctor, because I know a little bit of perspiration here and there is not so much. But literally, when you've got a tsunami flooding in every night, and let's not forget washing all those sheets, for heaven's sake, it's so... I don't know. Smelling stains.
Carlotta, are you having a moisture problem?
Oh God, I should be moist at my age. Oh my God, darling, I'd sleep in a Tupperware box and nothing sticks to the sides.
And maybe people like it, or possible partners like a bit of moisture.
Maybe they do. Maybe they would love their partner to be, their personal slip and slide, as Wendy clearly is. But, the question is the way of the body in order to keep you alive. So I don't think it's like a huge deal. I get that it would be embarrassing if you have, pit stains that could be like a Rorschach ink blot test the minute that you walk out of the house. But could be, some sort of underlying medical condition. And you can get, medical brained deodorants that will make you, drier than the Gobi Desert. But, Wendy, I think you're making a big deal out of this and you shouldn't sweat the small stuff, my darling. That is what I'm trying to say to you.
Hollie, you've had some big moments at Senate estimates at federal parliament. Did you ever find yourself having a bit of a moisture problem while you were grilling? Very important.
No, darling, no moisture problem, but I would say to Wet Wendy, perhaps it's the menopause. Well, that could be why the sweats are coming with the hot flushes. And whilst the Botox does very good at those later years, keeping it all smooth, perhaps a bit of estrogen replacement's where you need to be looking at the moment, dear Wendy.
Well, it's funny, Prue, she did say that she'd injected some Botox. Now, my question, Prue, is where is the moisture happening? Is it happening everywhere, or is it... She said it's running down her leg, so I'm just wondering if there's some part.
Well, let's hope it's in the nether regions, because at least that makes it more amenable and approachable for people. But Wendy, all I have to say to you is better wet than dry, because it's not a great experience in the bedroom when you're dry. And also, I really do recommend you get a water bed, and then you can, if it's really out of your body, you can blame it on the water bed.
But I just say she should siphon the moisture off to the water bed.
What a good refill. No time.
It sounds to me like her lady garden's become Niagara Falls.
Well, there you go. She can charge tickets. Come and see the gush. No? We cover a range of topics here on Beauty and the Beast, and this next one is a serious topic many women around the country are experiencing. Ange, can you please read it out?
I certainly will, Rob. Yes, serious is absolutely right. So, dear B&B, I am so ashamed. My husband had serious anger issues. He started using me as a punching bag when he gets annoyed, and little things set him off. If his dinner isn't on the table when he gets home, if I haven't ironed his shirts to his liking, anything can set him off. To the world, he's a nice guy, but I am living with a nightmare, and that comes to us from desperate Diane in Box Hill in Victoria. Okay, so Diane, look, I understand firsthand what you're going through, and my heart's absolutely with you, darling. So let's figure out how to get you out of this, because, it has nothing to do with your housekeeping and everything to do with your husband being an abusive bully and an arsehole, quite frankly. So by staying there, what you're doing is you're rewarding his behaviour, so you have to stop doing that. You've got to cut off his oxygen supply by leaving. I can tell you that I know exactly how hard that is, but I can also tell you exactly what it did. So you need to get in touch with an organisation called Uniting. They exist entirely to help people in your situation, and they'll even give you financial support to get started on your own. I promise you won't regret it, sweetheart. Peace, dignity and safety, they're all the things that you so rightly deserve, so go get them.
And Rosie Batty once said, it is really hard to leave an abusive partner. You seem to be indicating there that you've been in a situation where you've had to use this service. It is hard leaving that kind of situation, isn't it?
It is incredibly difficult because there's still part of you, certainly in my case, and it sounds like there might be with Diane as well, where you still love that person.
to whatever extent, even though they're not the same person that you got together with in the beginning, you still love them because you love what you imagined that they would be. And to lead that is very, very difficult, but you have to do it. You have to do it, Diane.
Carlotta, it obviously becomes a lot harder when kids are involved as well.
Well, it does. And the problem with all this is that, this has been going on for years and years and years. We don't seem to be able to get over the top of all this because women are being abused and some men are even being abused. It goes both ways. But, some women, they've got blinkers on. I'm a really strong person and I grew up in a sort of semi-abusive family. So I sort of know where these women are coming from. But what she's going through it by this letter is, I can see this is the start of she needs to go and get counselling done, either with her husband or go and get help, because it'll only get worse. And, this has got to stop. This has got to stop this abuse because women are even getting murdered and it's just wrong. So I suggest to you, darling, go and get some counselling, get some help, and always tell someone what is happening. Don't bottle it up.
Hollie, you've been dealing with this as a senator, but we always hear men have to stop abusing women, men have to stop domestic violence and murdering. It's not as simple as that, though, is there? You can have all the protests you like, but how do you get these men to change their behaviour?
Look, it's awful. And if I can just say, Diane, you have nothing to be ashamed of. Absolutely nothing. And he is not a nice guy. People like Diane, it's important that they know that there are supports available to them and that they are supported through what is a very difficult time in trying to get out of an abusive relationship. But we have far too often seen these things escalate where people's lives are put at risk. And it's absolutely endemic in some areas across the board. It's not socioeconomic, but we do know that cost of living pressures and challenges within the home can make these things escalate at a faster rate. So it's important to get help. It's important to get out. And it's important, as Carlotta said, that you do talk to someone and that they know.
Craig, the thing about this is it can be happening to anybody you know. We don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
You're right, Rob. I mean, from Diane's letter, he sounds absolutely like a Jekyll and Hyde, doesn't he? Nice to people on the outside, an absolute monster to her. Diane, I want to fortify what others have said. You have absolutely no reason to feel ashamed. You must get help. It will only escalate. There are plenty of places you can get help, and that's been outlined. You got to run, girl. I mean, I know you're probably still madly in love with him, but by the same token, you've got to protect yourself. You really do. Just find help wherever you can in a safe house with friends, but you've really got to reassess this relationship, unlike yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. Prue, final thoughts on this very difficult topic?
Well, it's interesting because I've found myself in a sort of situation like this. It wasn't to the stage where he was actually being violent, but I could see signs of a controlling behaviour. So I got out. But I understand, Diane, that having had this experience, there's logistics involved in terms of you think women are practical. Oh, I can't leave my house or my possessions. I don't have money. Or what about my children? So there are so many hurdles we put up, and that's why we don't always move. I always say to young women, when I'm giving a speech, I say to them, I want you to make sure you have a secret bank account. It's your fuck you account. And that's the account which liberates you, that you can get out. You've got some money and you can escape these people. But when anyone is choosing a partner, really look for the signs of someone who's controlling and diminishing who you are. And it's very, very important. Good luck, Diane. There's been some great advice from everybody. Go and seek some help from the organisations that can put you in the right direction.
You're watching Beauty and the Beast. Let's go to Prue for our next letter, which is a little bit naughty.
Dear B&B, my partner insists on hours of sex and I just can't seem to satisfy her. I've heard of sex addicts and always thought it would be great to meet one, but in fact, I'm exhausted. What can I do? And it's signed Exhausted Ernie from Engadine. Well, I have to say, Ernie, she's probably waiting for you to get it right and giving you a lot of practice because all of you blokes are really dud in the cot. You wouldn't know where a clitoris was. You couldn't even spell it. So as far as I'm concerned, keep the practice up, watch some porn, and maybe you won't be as exhausted anymore.
Oh, great. As one of the few men on this tale, could you say to say
Thank you, Rob. Well, I've got to say, I know where a clitoris is. Put a bullseye on it, mate. You know, look, exhausted, Ernie. I feel for you. It seems like you have your wife's sex slave. I'm wondering, could you buy her maybe a blow-up Ernie doll that comes in various speeds? So have her in times. Because I've got to say, I've got to kind of going up and down on you like an oil derrick. I mean, she could do all crown jewels at absolutely terrible damage. You've got to be careful. Although, I'm going to say, if I were in this situation and I was being actually worn out in the car, look, between you, me and the gatepost, mate, I would put the shingle up that says gone fishing and let her find alternatives. I really would. Sounds like a no-win situation.
Hollie, should Ernie consider himself lucky?
Oh, look, I think Ernie is not going to be getting a lot of sympathy from the other blokes watching out there at the moment. I think a lot of guys are like find themselves in Ernie's situation. But I think there's a lesson here. And quite seriously, I had a friend of mine get in contact with me, had a younger girlfriend, and he made a very similar observation to me. He said, I'm a one and done guy, and this girl wants to keep coming back for more. So I think to the boys out there, be careful what you wish for.
Carlotta.
Stick in the right age bracket.
There you go.
Thank God I've got Tupperware.
Hang on. Where is sticking the Tupperware, or what are you putting in the Tupperware?
Well, darling.
What shape is your Tupperware?
Oh, darling. At least I can keep it air fresh. But I tell you what, he should just, I can't believe this letter. I think you should just hang a sign out the front and put a charge sign. You're only on the side.
Sounds like Ernie needs some charging. Anjali, when my wife and I were trying to have our second child,
How's that going?
and let me just say, Amanda's very happy I'm bringing this up. It took quite a few attempts, and to the point, and I never thought it could happen to me. I was a bit like Ernie, where I was like, Jesus, again? How I long for those days, Ange.
It warms my cockle to know that at least someone around is getting it. I've got a friend who likes it 9 times a day. That just sounds, I can just hear the chafing. No, absolutely no. But I mean, if you've got somebody that you can treat as your personal dirt diggler, I'm all for it. Go for it. Stop whining.
So,
but I think an open and honest conversation needs to happen between Ernie and his missus, because one of them is going to end up in the ICU for sure.
well, that is the serious side of it. But Ernie, I think what you need is some Viagra and a lot of lube.
Oh my God, that's just At my age, I can't even bend my legs to go and have a wee, let alone lift them up.
Well, the cost of living crisis is affecting millions of Australians. But one husband, well, he isn't so happy with the way his wife is cutting costs. Isn't that right, Hollie?
Yeah, so we've got a letter here from Hungry Harry out at Homebush here in Sydney. My wife and I are really struggling with the cost of living. I get that we have to cut costs, but I'm really over the fact that she serves up 2-minute noodles at almost every meal. I admit I'm a bit old-fashioned and expect my wife to be in the kitchen, but really am getting sick of her laziness. Any solutions? Well, Harry, I'm going to suggest your wife finds a new husband. Because quite frankly, that's not like when she's serving up. Get yourself and you know, 2-minute noodles, you can do a lot with a ramen noodle this day. And if you don't like it, get in there and fix it yourself. I think you're being awful to your wife. And I think you're totally playing down what real families are struggling through with cost of living crisis. So, Harry, man up, cook for yourself.
Ramen noodles sounds a bit la-di-da fancy to me. I used to love 2-minute noodles at uni.
You just write something different on the menu. I mean, you don't have to say Anjali. You can say something else fabulous.
It's a bit rich from Harry, isn't it, Ange, that he's demanding the wife makes the meal and then isn't happy with what he gets?
He is, but I mean, 2-minute noodles every night. Is that not the entire point of the Geneva Convention? To protect us from such cruel and inhuman punishment. Harry, seriously, mate, you do come across as a bit of a sexist pig, and I'm very sorry to all the pigs out there who are watching. But we are all in a cost of living crisis. That means men and women, you tool. So why don't you think of something to cook? You can't call her lazy, and then you don't get off your ass. So hot kettle black. Why don't you learn some recipes together? I would like to suggest some to you, but I can't butter bread. I literally can't butter bread. But that's not a bad thing because I also can't afford either.
Or you're a cat.
And a cost of living. I can also get egg to help.
Can I tell you a story? And I don't even know if Carlotta knows this, but I once had a lovely meal at Carlotta's place, and it was a fish. It was myself and 2 other people. And yes, one of them was a vegetarian, and she had to sit there eating the meat that you served up because she was too embarrassed to say anything.
Yeah, but I bet she ate it.
In fact, I think she might be a vegan, but anyway.
No, I can never understand vegetarians, darling. Anyway, like I've reached 82 and I've always had meat in me one way or another.
Speaking of people who like me, Craigie, what should Hungry Harry do?
Well, Hungry Harry, to be perfectly frank, a lot of great advice was given there. Be grateful they weren't 1-minute noodles because they're even less appealing than 2-minute noodles 7 days a week. Look, I really think, frankly, it's time you threw on the apron, mate. You got in the kitchen and you cooked up a wonderful tuna casserole for your loving, blushing bride. You say you're bored with her 2-minute noodles. Maybe she's bored to buckets with you. Maybe she thinks that's all worthy of, a 2-minute noodles. So, throw on the apron. A woman's place is no longer in the kitchen. You sound like a total utter misogynist to me. Tuna casserole. What about some bangers and mash, mate? That might really sum you up, eh? With a nice onion gravy.
Maybe she's bored with his noodle.
Maybe. Precise.
And she wants him to serve her some sausage.
Maybe. Prue, it's a bit rich from Harry, isn't it? Maybe he could cook himself.
Well, he could, darling, but the point is Craig hit on it. She's sending him a message through those noodles. He's obviously so boring, so demanding, so old-fashioned. I would be slapping down probably just some chicken noodle soup out of a packet. I wouldn't even go to the extent of doing noodles. It's too much effort. So if I were you, I would just suck it up, or otherwise, why don't you take her out to the club? The club has cheap meals. You can do that occasionally and get on the barbecue and do something other than complaining. But I think you've really done your noodle in, doll, over this, and it's really stupid because we're onto you all, and I'm sure she is. You're a boring old fart.
Well, I bet Harry never expected it to go this way. He's getting some advice and he's ended up getting his noodle put down. So
Harry, I'm here.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of Booty and the Beast. What did you think? Let us know by searching for us on the socials. It's Booty and the Beast. In the meantime, thank you to our gorgeous panel. And haven't they all been great? Well, most of them. 4 out of 5, maybe. No, they've all been fantastic. Don't forget, as I said, search for us on the socials, and we'll see you for another episode of Booty and the Beast very soon. I'm Rob McKnight. I hope to see you then.